Today in our 2011 Ford Explorer, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the Roadmaster Diode 7-wire to 6-wire Flexo-Coil wiring kit, part number RM-15267. That's what your diode kit's going to look like when you get it. You get your 7 to 6 pole Flexi-Coil umbilical cord. You're going to get your 30-foot 4-pole wire that you're going to run from the front of the vehicle to the back. It's going to connect directly to your existing wiring right behind your taillights. You're going to get your 4 diodes. When we run this wire back, it connects into one side of the diode, and then our factory wire connects into the other side. The single side here goes out to our taillight. What our diodes do, it protects our wiring from any feedback from the RB, so that our factory wiring doesn't get damaged. What these also do is allow us to run the functions, your turn signals, running lights, brake signal, through our 4-pole wire, and utilize our lights on our towed vehicle or on our Ford Explorer while it's being flat towed. Now, as far as our Flexo-Coil wire, this is going to be an 8-foot cord. You're going to have your 6-pole side that connects to your Ford while it's being flat towed, and your 7-pole side that connects to your RV. The wire does have a nice coating on it that's going to resist any water, oil, and chemicals. And it's also going to have injected or silicone injected plugs where your wires meet your plug inside. They're silicone injected to help keep any water from building up and causing corrosion. Now that we've gone over some of the features of this wiring kit, let me show you how to get it installed. It's a good idea, if you haven't removed your fascia already, go ahead and do that now, because it's going to make installing this kit a lot easier. Now that we have our fascia removed, I'm going to run my 4-pole wire to the back of the vehicle. Let me get that done real quick and I'll show you how I did it. I ran my wire right here under my driver's side, up behind my headlight, up into the engine compartment, because it has to tie into the braking system that I will be putting on this vehicle later. Going right next to my battery, I brought it back down right against my firewall right here, tied it right to my emergency brake cable, ran it all the way back, threw a couple zip ties on it along the way. You want to make sure you're staying away from anything hot or moving. Went over top of the axle, went over top of that hard line there, keep it up away from my exhaust. And my existing line here, it's got a rubber coating on it. I zip tied it right to that. So once you get to here, go ahead and separate your wires. What I did is I separated them right to the edge, or bottom edge of my bumper fascia. My green wire, I'm going to leave out because that's going to be running, we're going to be running that over to the passenger side. Now we'll take a flathead screwdriver. We're going to pop these little caps off. Take an 8mm socket and remove the 2 bolts. We're going to pull back on our taillight like that. We're going to have 3 connectors. We'll go ahead and remove them and we'll set our taillight aside. It looks like all of them are the same. You're just going to push on the center tab. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So I have my yellow, brown, and white wire. Pulled it right up through the back of my fascia. This is kind of tight back here. The easiest way to do it, take this bolt out with an 8mm socket. You can kind of pull this out enough. You can get a piece of wire or something down there, and it'll come out right out of the bottom. Take some electrical tape, tape it to the end, and then pull it up. So from here, ground wire is going to be my white wire. Go ahead and cut it off, strip it back. Add on your ring terminal. Self-tapping screw. Comes with the kit. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to make sure it's on metal, not on plastic. Just like that. Once you have done that, you need to test to determine what wires you're going to be using on your plugs. It's going to be the center plug. Through testing, we determined that this brownish colored wire was our brake light signal, so we're going to make that our brake and our turn. And this yellow wire is our running light signal. So now we're going to cut our wire. Cut it down here. We're going to strip back both ends. Take one of those spade connectors off one of your diodes. Put one on each end of your wires. And we're going to take our diode. Go ahead and put it in place. Single side where it says out goes out towards the taillight. Other end here. And you can see we have a third one. That's going to be for our yellow wire. Yellow wire on our 4-pole or our diode wiring is for our left turn signal and our brake signal. Just like that. You can see how this wire splits. So we tested that single wire and it does work the same. Just a little bit more. The wires are pretty thin. You see that wire's a little smaller, so I stripped it back a little bit extra, doubled it over, and then put on my spade terminal. And plug our diode in. Again, out, single side goes towards the light. I'm going to take our brown wire. We're going to have a jumper that's got to go from one side of the vehicle to the other. This brown wire that we cut off is for our running lights. It's not going to be long enough to go from our driver's side to the opposite side of the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the white wire that I cut off from here to add on to go over to the other side. One of your diodes is going to have a yellow spade terminal like that. That is for this connection. Once you have your white wire that is extending off your brown wire that we're going to be running over to the passenger side, back down behind the fascia to the bottom or to the ground there. Now we can kind of straighten up our install and plug our light back in. Now it's a good idea. Take some silicone gasket sealer or Loctite. It's a gasket maker actually. And right on the top side here, put a little bit in there because it kind of cups and you don't want any water to sit in it. If any moisture or anything happens to get down in behind the light. What I did is I stuck them together. I'm gonna go ahead and plug my light back in real quick. I'll try and stick them right here. Now we can put our 2 screws back in. Now my green wire that's running over my passenger side, my white wire that I extended off my brown, I just ran it. There's some existing wiring right up in here. I just zip tied it right to it, ran across over here to the passenger side, and then did the same thing to get my wiring up. Then we determined, again through testing, that our yellow wire is going to be our running light signal, brown wire is going to be acts as our brake and our turn. So now we're going to do the same thing with our diodes that we did on the other side, except on our running light signal, we're only going to have one wire coming in. That's from that's the jumper or the white wire coming from the other side of the vehicle. Again, green and brown. Single side goes out towards the light, yellow and white, or yellow and whatever color you use to extend your brown wire from the other side of the vehicle. Once you got your connections made here, go ahead and reinstall your tail light. Now that we have our fascia back in place, we're going to add on our 6-pole plug on the front. Before doing that, I'm going to take some wire loom that comes in the kit and I'm going to stick it on and see if I can't cover up some of this wire here in the back. Just kind of clean it up, hide the colored wires on there. We're going to take the rubber boot from the back of our plug, put the skinny in inside on first. Go ahead and slide it like that. And I'm just going to cut my wire off where I need it. I'll leave myself a little bit extra, just in case I need to make any adjustments. Split the wires. Strip them all back. Flathead or Phillips screwdriver. Normally a flathead works better, but if you look on the back of the plug, everything's marked where your wires are going to go. You got LT for left turn, RT for right turn. TM is going to be your running rights, GD is going to be ground. Then you have a couple extra posts for any other accessories you may want to add. Center posts, typically, if you add a battery charge line, would go right there. We are just going to be doing the left turn, right turn, ground, and running lights. So one thing to keep in mind is these screws are very little. You don't want to take them all the way out because you can lose them very easily. I'll start with my right turn, which is my green wire. I got left turn, which is the yellow. Our ground. And our running lights. We're going to take some dielectric grease. We're going to put it on our connections. This will help keep them from corroding if any moisture does happen to get in there. Just like that. Take our boot. Slide it on. We're going to take some electrical tape. We're going to go right over the edge of the boot here, kind of help seal it. And we're going to take the tape and go right down over top of our wire loom. Take that, we'll slide it back in there. And mount it with our hardware that comes in our kit. 10mm wrench, Phillips screwdriver. We'll tighten it in place. Now we can test it out, make sure everything's working correctly. Tail lights, left turn, brake lights, tail lights, brake lights, right turn. Now that we've tested our wiring, we know everything's working correctly, ready to hook up to our RV and hit the road. That'll do it for a look at an installation on the Roadmaster Diode 7-wire to 6-wire Flexo-Coil wiring kit, part number RM-15267 on our 2011 Ford Explorer.